Okay, I got you now, Okay. Oh.
A few years ago, Trevor McDade thought this was the last place he'd be.
I got you there.
At Tallahassee Community College, playing basketball.
People that really know me and really knew how I act, I'd either be in jail or dead.
McDade grew up in Texas with his dad and older brother. Often, he couldn't avoid trouble. In high school, he moved to Maryland to live with his mom. But sometimes the streets became his home.
When you don't have stuff, you look for it in different places. And I went down all the wrong roads trying to look for it. It's a park I used to sleep at, and like I used to wear the same thing to school. Sometimes.
I got AJ.
It didn't affect his performance on the court. He earned a scholarship to Bowie State, but his grades and bad attitude didn't cut it.
I had to find a different way out, so I chose the Marine Corps. And I really needed discipline, so I needed the Marine Corps. I didn't want any other branches.
Then, 18 years old, McDade earned the rank Lance Corporal, and he joined another team, the Fort Meade Patriots.
It was never, oh yeah, I see myself going to the NBA. Oh yeah, I see myself going to school for basketball. I scored 52 points in this one game, and then they were like, yeah, you need to go to school. You need to do something else better with your life.
TCC head coach Eddie Barnes called a 21-year-old after receiving tips from friends.
He was very honest with who he was. You know, he didn't hold any punches back. He is really tough. I mean, I've watched him against bigger kids, and I mean, he gets knocked down, he comes right back at you.
Let me through.
His basketball skill was evident, but there were concerns about adapting to yet another new environment.
You got managed time here. You didn't have to do that in the military because they told you what to do, where you had to be, where you had to go. It's not like that here.
Through all the things that Trevor's been through, it came down to trust. And I think we've earned his trust, and I think that's one reason why he's at TCC.
McDade is still a Marine, now in the reserves. At any moment, he can be called to duty.
We all we got. Let's go, fellas.
But his duty now is to lay up every ounce of his basketball ability for the Eagles.
I want to be like, yeah, I did everything I could to get where I am. Therefore, whatever happens, I'm going to be good, you know? So that's what I want. That's what I expect. So that's what I'm shooting for.
I keep waiting to wake up from it, just thinking it's a dream, you know.
Zach Walters' hair may grow back, but he will never get back his senior year of high school football.
Football here in Thomasville is huge. I mean, it's a legacy here. It's a big tradition here in Thomasville.
4 years ago, the Walters family came to Thomasville for a better life.
It was a quaint, downtown area, and the countryside's beautiful. Everywhere we go, there's just something new to look at.
But at 6'4", 260 pounds, Zach was destined for the Friday night lights.
I can remember the first time the coaches saw him walk on campus down there, walk on the schoolyard. They were like, oh, we got to have this kid.
He was one of 8 senior offensive linemen at Thomas County Central.
It was every day except Saturday and Sunday, and even then I'd always be thinking about it.
But Zach's season ended 1 week before the season opener.
I went to stretch back in my chair, just to stretch, and that's when the seizure started.
I felt for a pulse. He had a pulse, so I knew that he was alive, but he wasn't breathing. So that was a scary time.
You watch your oldest son, and you realize that he's completely helpless, and you realize that there's nothing I can do, and I don't ever want to feel that again.
Zach's seizure was caused by a tumor lodged in his brain.
Well, I was sitting in church, and I had my cell phone with me. I opened it up, and it's like these guys are like my own children, and to hear that news, I was like, holy cow, where did this come from?
He had meningioma, one of the most common forms of a brain tumor. It was the size of a lemon and essentially pushing his brain aside.
It's really just a blessing that they found it before I went through this whole season doing the same thing I've done for the past 3 seasons.
The tumor was benign, but was removed just 2 weeks after Zach's seizure. Dr. Gerald Cadis performed the surgery.
Zach was in great shape for the surgery emotionally. He had the support of his family and all of his friends.
GW, baby, GW!
That included the other 7 seniors on the Yellow Jackets offensive line.
And all of a sudden, a truck came pulling up the driveway with all 8 of them, all 7 of them, senior offensive linemen in the back of it with their heads shaved. Even the ones I wouldn't have ever thought would have shaved their head. Just for me, it was pretty touching to know that they would do that and that they were behind me.
They had to kind of make me do it, but now I'm glad I did it because it really helped him and it made his whole family feel good.
I shaved so many heads, the clippers I have got so hot they were about to burn my fingers because they've been running so long.
It really kind of rubbed off on our team, and I think it was really almost like a rallying cry for our team going into that first game with Thomasville.
Thomas County Central won their first game 35-20, and although Zach is no longer on the field, his jersey number is worn in his honor.
Football is a major part of your life, especially through your high school career if you're really into it. And but I'm definitely finding out there's a lot more to life than football.
1, 2.
It's 6:30 a.m. on the Florida State campus. Future soldiers are training. This is how Amanda Ake starts her 18-hour day 3 times a week.
It's 24/7 commitment. I mean, you have to go to sleep early thinking about what you're going to do the next day. You have to get up thinking about what you're about to do the next hour.
The sophomore doubles as a softball player for Tallahassee Community College. Her commitment to being a student athlete and a cadet in the ROTC goes back to her childhood. Ake has 7 family members either active or retired from the military.
I can go back 5 generations and just name off family members that were in wars and that served.
The Army trainee is proud of her pedigree, and she shares his passion on the base paths.
I can't believe that, God's given me the time and the talent just to not just do both, but succeed in both.
Captain Sean Bergstrom is an instructor with FSU's ROTC. Of the 100 cadets each year, he says Ake's case is rare because of her athletic background.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen that often because it is such a trying and taxing schedule. So it takes a big commitment to do both of those things.
Season's the hardest part for me, and that's when I really have to sit down and say, hey, I have to go to class, I have to run from class, and I have to eat, and I have to go to practice.
That's where TCC head coach Patty Townsend comes into play.
She is extremely tough. You can get on her and it doesn't faze her, and she understands it. She demands more than a normal athlete sometimes, and sometimes to a fault. She expects a lot.
Those expectations led to another commitment this year. Ake signed a letter of intent to play ball with Virginia Tech, and during that ceremony she was officially sworn in as an officer.
That I'll support and defend the Constitution.
I'm blessed to be on a team that I could be sworn in, and they appreciate it. And they came up and patted me on the back, and they're like, good job, Ake.
Next year, Ake's workload will increase. More training, more classes, and a Division I softball schedule. She hopes it's a work ethic that will one day defend this country as courageously as she defends on the diamond. I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness Sports.
He's phenomenal. You don't think he can do the things he can do until you actually see him doing it.
Have you watched him? It's amazing. It's amazing.
Those who know Landis Anderson say there's nothing he can't do on the basketball court.
Really, you think to guard him left hand, but you guard him left, he go right, come back left between the legs, so it's hard to guard.
I put in work and I studied the game, and over the years it just got easier, I guess.
The work Anderson puts in, though, is unlike any other. The Florida High junior has complete use of just his left hand.
At birth, I had wide shoulders, so I kind of got stuck, and the doctor pulled me out by my right arm and disconnected some nerves from my spinal cord.
Doctors call it Erb's palsy.
He doesn't look at it as a disability, and I don't either. He hates for people to focus on his arm.
Anderson credits his family for his accomplishments.
They always push me to be strong. They didn't take it easy on me at all. That's what made me who I am today.
Landis looks at it like, Dad, I just hate when they focus on my arm. I said, don't worry about it, son. I said, don't never let anybody tell you that you can't do something, because I said you can do anything that anybody else does.
Thing is, he's better than most of his competition, averaging 20 points and 7 rebounds about a month into the season.
When you say he's got only one arm, they're talking about limiting him to one side of the floor and they can stop him. And you think you can until you have to actually face him.
I want him to know about me. I don't want anyone to underestimate me, even though that puts me at an advantage, but I don't want any gimmies. Like I want to earn it the right way.
He said, I want to make it to the NBA. And I said, son, you can do it. I said, you can do it.
Tamika McKelton carries the same responsibilities like any other mother.
She's starting to roll over. She can hold her bottle.
She's also a student and a basketball player at FAMU.
It's pretty challenging as far as being able to keep track with everything.
Her daughter Aria was born this past August, 5 months after her junior season.
Roughly, I played about 2 or 3 months pregnant.
McKelton feared she would get kicked off the basketball team, so she kept her pregnancy a secret from everyone but 2 people, her boyfriend and one of her teammates. That teammate was Kiana Donald.
That was real tough seeing her going through that and you couldn't say nothing, but at the end of the day I just pulled her to the side and say, you okay, and make sure she all right. I basically just gritted my teeth and went to practice every morning even though I was sick, flew on the planes and just played as hard as I could, but carefully because I knew what was going on inside.
According to the NCAA handbook, a pregnant athlete can still participate in their sport as long as their doctor has cleared them to do so. But McKelton told me she got around it.
I asked the doctor, was it okay for me to still be active? And the doctor said yes, exercise is always good, so I kind of took it and ran with it.
If you knew that 15% of the time you got on an airplane, it was going to crash, would you get on that airplane?
Dr. A.J. Brickler is an obstetrician with 30 years of experience. He says the physical nature of the game put McKelton at risk.
Contact where a potential fall on the abdomen could disrupt the placenta, the afterbirth, and separate it from the wall of the uterus, and there could be some shearing effect, almost like a car crash.
Despite the danger, McKelton kept playing.
I fine-tuned my game to where I could just help but not have to do all the dirty work.
Head coach LaDawn Gibson says if she knew, she would have told the school's all-time three-point leader to pick up her dribble and watch from the bench.
Shocked. I had no idea. I asked her, why didn't she tell me? She said she didn't want to quit playing. She didn't want to give up on her team. And that meant a lot for me.
With her boyfriend by her side, McKelton admits she's lucky.
So go, mommy, go. He keeps the baby when I'm on the road, and when he has to go to class, he usually takes her with him.
We have our little moments where, you know what I'm saying, it could get tough at times, but, you know, we always figure out a way to pull through.
McKelton has missed only 1 game her senior year. This semester, the mother, the basketball player, the student will graduate with a criminal justice degree.
The past year has really put life in perspective for me as far as knowing what's important. God, family, you know, school and everything. So, yeah, it's helped me mature.
That's something she can't keep secret. I'm Jason Kahn, WCTV Eyewitness Sports.